It's wonderful when a few individuals, they tend to be older and towards the end of their career, or occasionally if they're just making a statement, they're no longer in politics. But occasionally, you get a guy like Mike DeWine who's old enough and has been in politics long enough to have lived through an era where things in the Republican Party, while not sane, were a little bit more sensible. The pre-Trump era, someone who did not form their mindset in that era, and so has a little bit of basic common sense when it comes to things like this. And God bless him, at least in this limited instance, for having made the right choice for just basic human decency. It seems to be an increasingly rare thing. Yeah.
Yeah, the bar is that low. We're just asking people to behave like a decent human being.
Yeah.
And for the majority of the Republican Party, sure, there are outliers. There is Liz Cheney, which comes as a shock to me because her father is Dick Cheney.
Yes.
But okay.
Yeah.
Maybe the mechanical heart they put in him has changed him, and maybe some of that rubbed off on her. But
maybe it was three times the size of his original heart. Maybe that's why he had to get the transplant in the first place. Could be. You never know.
But yes, it is devastating. It is devastating enough. I've got a 13-year-old and a 17-year-old, and it is devastating enough to watch and then remember back when I was this age, trying to figure out who you are and what you like and who you want to be. Yeah. And then come to find out that you look in the mirror and you don't even see who you are.
Yeah.
And then the terrifying reality is, to be who you are, you have to go out into the world and face hate.
Yeah.
Possible death. And all because you just want to be who you are. It is devastating to someone at that age when they're just starting that journey. And as an adult, for sure, we have something to fall back on. We can look back at things and maybe choose a better path. But for children, everything is new. Their pituitary gland is just opening up, and they've got all these new chemicals in their brain, and they are feeling everything for the first time.
Yeah.
The anxiety for the first time, the love for the first time, the fear for the first time.
Yeah.
We, as 46 years old myself, I've been going through these emotions for a long time.
Right.
It takes a lot to phase me now. But if you are just flooded with that all of a sudden in reaction to things, you can't control yourself. And we need at this moment to make sure that that person knows that they are safe.
Yeah.
And how can we do that if we don't have people, I'll take it where I can get it, who are at least telling people the gender dysphoria is too devastating. What they're saying is children are killing themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we can't allow that to happen over this idea. If that's what it's coming down to, then we as adults need to stop for a second.
That's right. And we have to remember, I think you make a really good point, Suzanne. Let's each of us, as adults, put ourselves back, if we can, at that time and how it felt like, and how, like, even minor disappointments to us when we were at that age, maybe even ones that weren't really at the core of our being, as gender dysphoria seemed like the end of the world, and how serious that felt, and what spirals of depression it had the ability to put us into at that time, and how seriously, I mean, first of all, this is a very serious thing. It needs to be taken seriously, but the emotions around that time, that's essentially what these Republicans in the state of Ohio who passed this atrocious law are basically going to end up, had Mike DeWine not done this, they are trying to make it the end of the world for more young people. And that's horrific, and it's inhumane, because there would have been more loss of life. And in many places, unfortunately, um, that is likely to be the case. And we have to do everything that we can to fight against this. This is not, and what fills me with so much rage over this is knowing that fundamentally the vast majority of people who are doing this in the Republican Party on the right do not care about this themselves. They are just cynically manipulating this because they realize it is a way of getting people, in their base riled up. And in order to do that, they are willing to take the lives, essentially, of young people. And that is just so disgusting to me.
And I want to add to that, dysphoria, the idea that you don't see what everyone else sees. You don't see the reality because of how you feel about yourself, your self-esteem. That we all know.
Yeah.
We all know.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just go to weight.
Yeah.
All of us, as a child, as a teenager, were either too fat or too skinny. All of us. And we all got picked on and we all got ridiculed, and we looked at people that we wanted to be, and we wondered why our bodies, no matter what we did, we couldn't make them look like that.
Yeah.
And for me at 46, I realized, hey, my body looks the way it does because I'm the only version that this planet has. So I behoove myself not to express and be my best self and enjoy my body as it is. But it took me 46 years to get here.
Yeah.
At 13 and 17, when you look in the mirror and you don't recognize yourself, you can at least empathize by going back and looking at your teenage self and realizing how hard you were trying to fit into some box to look like something else or someone else.
Yeah.
Just to fit in. That's what these kids are going through on a hyper level.
Yeah.
Because not only are they doing it at school and with their peers, but there are adults attacking them. There are people who have never met them, who know their names, who are attacking them.
Yeah.
They're doing it on social media. These poor children are seeing their names and their likenesses and their issues being blasted around like they don't exist. And they are real. They are real people.
Yeah.
And if we care, then we care about all. And if we want individual freedoms, then every individual, regardless of whether or not you agree with anything about them, you don't have to.
Yeah.
But you know that they're alive and they are here. And so they deserve your protection.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And on top of that, it is galling to know that the people who are making laws have a fundamental lack of understanding, deliberate, I'm sure, of what the process even involves. I mean they assume that you can just just go and get surgery all of a sudden. No, that's not what the process is like. It takes years. It takes consultations with a doctor, and it's a process, and it's a serious, involved, complicated process. And,
yes,
and it's
let me
thoughtfully.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Gender
Please.
affirming care, they say it like it's a blank, like it's this thing and it's surgery. That's not gender affirming care. Gender affirming care is a blanket statement.
Yeah.
Gender affirming
Covers a lot
care
of
is
things.
calling her what she wants to be called.
Yeah.
Gender affirming care is parents grieving the loss of the child they thought they had and learning that they have this beautiful child that they never knew they had. Gender affirming care is using the pronouns. Gender affirming care is getting her or him presence in the clothing that they want to wear with the gender that they are expressing. Yeah. And that is so much for a child.
Yeah.
The surgery happens after years of psychological tests. They have to see therapists for at least a year. They can't even get actual surgery until they are an adult.
Yeah.
So the puberty
I mean,
blockers.
for goodness sake, have you tried to get any kind of surgery in the United States of America at all?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Unless it's cosmetic.
Right.
I mean, they
Yeah.
will add the boobs.
Yeah.
They're just, and here's the other thing. It is upsetting to them because fluidity is an affront. When you
Right.
are living in a
Right.
patriarchal masculine
Yeah.
society, you have to have definitions.
Yeah.
But science has shown that everything in this world is fluid, and that just drives them absolutely nuts. So to do that to a human being, let alone a child, um, it's just so gross. It's gross to me. It just makes me want to throw up in my mouth.
Yeah.
I am grateful, going back to Ohio, that DeWine did this, and I know that he's going to be an outlier, but that's why what's going on with Boebert is kind of funny, because give us more seats to take.
Yeah.
Lauren decided, well, they decided for her. Her Democrat opponent has raised her 7.7 million to Adam Frisk, and then 2.4 million for her. So
Yeah.
she wants to switch districts.
She may not be into gender fluidity, but she's into district fluidity all the way.
Yes, she is. And all because she, I don't know, can't behave herself in a theater.
Basically, that's right. Yeah, but she's just like so many on the far right, just a kind of a vulgar person. Do you remember? I remember this, like when they were calling Hillary Clinton a carpetbagger for running for Senate in New York. I haven't heard that term once come out of the right around Lauren Boebert, and I think it's just hilarious. I think it's so funny. I'm just going to shop around for a district, and I'm going to pick the one that sounds best to me.
She went through a divorce, and she never thought she would ever be in Congress or run for Congress before. Yeah. So look, and it's not just Beetlejuice, honey. It's a lot of things. Since she decided to make a video, I decided to go back and just capture the atrociously pathetic, disgusting, stupid, and in my opinion, absolutely hilarious things she said just in 2023, which might be the reason why, Adam, we may get a Democrat for her 3rd district that she's giving up. And
I've got friends in that district, so I really, really hope so. I want life to be good for them. Yes.
We need as many. Well, we just lost McCarthy.
That's right.
And,
that's right.
George Santos.
Yeah. Well, you see, Santos, I think there's a chance for, Fresno is a kind of conservative place. I don't know if that's going to happen. Well, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I really am. You see, it's one of you think of California as this, like, I know I often do, as this big blue, but there are places, especially in the Central Valley, that are deep, deep red, and Fresno tends to be one of them. So, but there is hope because, new possibilities open up, and you never quite know what's going to happen. So keep hope alive.
Absolutely. I'm just hoping, like we said on our last show, just get out and vote next year, please.
Yes.
Just please. Whatever side you are on, just get out and vote. Let's show them what the country really looks like.
Yeah. And then that's the thing, too. I mean, I hear some people saying, and I understand where it comes from because it's very frustrating, that that voting doesn't matter. I think that's far from the truth. I think it's absolutely it absolutely
Lauren,
does matter.
Yeah, it does matter because Lauren is switching districts because she barely made it.
Yeah.
With re-election.
Yeah, 500 votes or so. Yeah.
Yes. So yes, no, I know. There's a lot of things that are telling you, and logic too with the Electoral College is telling you your vote doesn't matter, but it does.
Yeah, it
does. Please, no matter which way, even if you're voting for Donald Trump, just get out and vote, please.
Please do. Yeah, this is something that I really have taken to heart, and no matter how far to the left I go, I will go to my grave saying, you need to vote. Just get out there and do it. You can always do more. You can always organize. Maybe it's not the only thing that you can be doing, but it is